There are three different options when it comes to potentially selling your property. Number one is listing the property, calling a realtor, and getting this thing on the market. This has long been the traditional way to sell a house, but it doesn't include appraisals, inspections, access, financing, and all the different back and forth in a traditional sale. Number two is where Midwest Cash Offer comes into the equation, a true cash offer for your property. All the aforementioned things with listing your property do not exist with a true net cash offer, worrying about access, repairs, you name it, nothing like that exists with a true cash offer. And number three, an option that we see a lot of people, and maybe yourself, actively considering, do nothing. Don't list it, don't take the cash offer, but people oftentimes choose to do nothing because maybe they don't know their options and don't want to truly consider selling their property until they have more information. We're aiming to arm you with that information so that you can make a better decision when selling your property. All right, let's dive right in. Reason number one to potentially consider a cash offer: carrying two mortgages. Just the words alone send shivers up my spine and give me goosebumps. Nobody wants to carry two mortgages. It's extremely expensive, especially if you're not living in one of those properties. The ability to go from house A to house B without having notes on both house A and house B is extremely important for someone when they're looking to sell their property. Number two is something very straightforward and something I've experienced personally: taking a new job, maybe relocating. It's extremely important to be able to liquidate your property quickly and acquire a new property without having to hang in the balance of juggling two mortgages. Oftentimes, finding that perfect buyer that's gonna pay top dollar is not as important as potentially just taking the money you need to move on to greener pastures. Now, similar story as number two is number three, and that's the loss of a job. The loss of an income means the loss of ability to pay a mortgage, which means that you may need to liquidate that property, perhaps downsizing or otherwise. And the ability to do that, timing is everything, and that's all that a net cash offer provides, is the ability to effectuate on time when selling your property. Number four is one I don't like to talk about, but something that we see all the time, especially with younger couples: active divorce. Selling a property on the market is an extremely stressful experience. Getting people inside, cleaning the thing, making it ready for showing is extremely difficult and can be tedious for anyone, much less folks that are in a little bit of a stressful situation to begin with. That stressful situation is oftentimes mitigated by a true cash offer. Wipe your hands and off you go. Number five is Midwest Cash Offer's specialty. We work a lot with folks who have inherited a property that they don't know much about. Chances are, if you inherit a property, you aren't making eminent fixes to the property. The next week, you're not putting on a new roof, new air conditioner, new flooring. You might be working against the clock, where repairs may be accumulating while you continue to do nothing with the property, which is why a cash offer might make more sense for someone who receives this property through heirship. Something that we see a lot, almost as much as inherited properties: massive repairs. New roof, new foundation, electrical issues, plumbing issues, the list goes on and on. What a lot of folks don't understand when they list a property on the market is many of the mortgages that people are getting to potentially buy a property must be insured by the government. When a property has some of these massive foundation issues, massive electric issues, massive plumbing issues, they can't be insured by the government, and it makes the mortgage rendered pointless, which renders your property less desirable, less marketable, and harder to sell. A true net cash offer from Midwest Cash Offer will give you the ability to walk away without having to worry about any of the things that make your property undesirable. Number 7 on the list is bad belligerent tenants, something we work with extensively here at Midwest Cash Offer. Landlords are oftentimes a little bit jaded the longer they exist throughout this industry. Bad tenants can ruin the best of intentions with landlords and make them want to wash their hands and walk away from a property. Enter Midwest Cash Offer. Obviously, it's extremely difficult to sell a property on the market with someone living inside the property, much less someone that doesn't have the respect to take care of the property accordingly. With Midwest Cash Offer, we acquire properties with tenants inside, whether good or bad, and we're able to give you an active indication on what your property is worth without ever having to talk with that tenant again. Oftentimes, we work with people who have little itty bitty houses, they're ready to rock and roll, ready to sell, and someone wants to build a massive 4-story apartment building right next door. And maybe many moons ago when you bought the property, it was totally different. The neighborhood was different, the construction wasn't there. There may be things that have transpired over the past handful of years that would convolute your ability to sell the property traditionally. And that's exactly where a cash offer can come in, getting out from underneath that obligation that might be right next door. Now, lastly, number 9 on this list of reasons you may want to consider a cash offer is something that we've bumped into a lot over the last 2 or 3 years as the market has continued to rise. Tax liens, back taxes, and property taxes as a whole. Unpaid property taxes can be terrible for a homeowner. The government can stake claim to the property, seize it, and sell it on their own accord. Midwest Cash Offer can help. When buying your property, property, we're able to go through, work with the title company, work with the government to get a payoff on these amounts, completely absolve you of any additional liability due to the government, both municipal or federal, and move on to get out from underneath that burdening obligation to get them paid. Guys, my name is Evan Manship with Midwest Cash Offer, and we help homeowners sell their properties cash professionally. We'd welcome the chance to do the same for you. Visit www.midwestcashoffer.com to schedule a free call with one of our acquisition specialists who might be able to get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours.